What's up, guys? Kexis here, and today I'm going to talk about Last Epoch, my experience with Last Epoch, and just some general thoughts I have because I don't really have friends to talk about games with. But people, that's just how it is. So let's hop right into it. Campaign. I don't like campaigns for ARPGs. They don't really do it for me because, for the most part, the campaign exists as a means to just get to the fun part of the game. And Last Epoch's campaign is too easy. You basically don't have to interact with most of the mobs. You just blast a skill every once in a while, get some XP, keep going. That's not a bad thing. That's just the product of the nature of the game. The name of the game is speed. No matter if you're casual Jimmy, serious Timmy, Rax, or John Wishenshire, like you play the game to get to in game. You play ARPGs to have this power fantasy experience, something right, something different than what you start out like to build towards something. So the campaign being super easy kind of just feels like a waste of time to me because the story isn't exactly compelling. You no again, no offense to them. That's just the nature of the beast, right? No one plays ARPGs for the campaign. Caveat being, there's not like if a game has a good campaign, cool. But at Last Epoch, it's just not there. It's just too easy. You kind of just breeze through everything. I prefer if they just allowed me to skip through all of it. So it gets like a 4, honestly. Leveling feels pretty smooth. Like I said, the campaign's pretty easy. You kind of just hit a skill every once in a while you're running through collecting quests and not really engaging, but it does feel fun, especially if you pick the right skill. So the leveling experience it feels nice and natural actually, like due to how well the skills interact with one another and campaign not really kicking you in your teeth. It makes for a very smooth, fun, easy leveling curve. Me personally, put some music on, put a podcast on, listen to some EDM, and I'm just having fun. So even though I don't like the campaign, I still am having fun because leveling feels so good. So leveling gets like an 8, in my opinion. Like I said, skills. Skills are important, especially in this game. Like skills are really important in this game because they have a lot of depth. They interact with each other very nicely in almost all aspects of the game. They interact with uniques really nicely, which brings on board a lot of builds, I imagine. And on top of, skills kind of working well inherently, the fact that you can kind of copy and paste sets now, there that just enables more skills to be more viable for more builds, which is super good. ARPGs have a lot of layers to them. Power fantasies, clearing fan. If you just want to be a god, you want to clear a screen with one button. It has a lot going for it, or like in terms of why people play. And I think this kind of goes under the radar sometimes, but the ability to fall in love with a skill or class or particular playstyle and build it up over time with your character is important, really important. And I hate to bring it up, but that is like one of the biggest pain points in Path of Exile 2. You can't really build up every skill. You can only work with certain skills. And the truth is, most people don't want to bang their head against a wall to figure out what works and what doesn't work. They will try, but if someone's like, "Hey guys, lightning spear works," and everyone's like, "Wait, I don't have to struggle anymore. I can." People are gonna do that, and you can't really blame them because no one is playing a game to not have fun and like be frustrated. But Last Epoch gets that skills. They get it right. I give them a 9 on. Now let's talk about in game. I don't really have anything to add that you probably haven't already heard from someone else. In my personal experience, I like the pacing of it. I'm not some like super deep, dedicated Last Epoch player. I don't go super hard on any ARPGs. I just like playing them. It feels fun to build a character up, get it to a certain aspect, and be like, okay, I'm done. Next, I find it fun. So for like, you know, I'm probably like a day or two away from Aberoth. Who knows? I don't know. I'm like, what's the quest? Clear corruption 200 for an unseen harbinger. I'm there. So I don't actually know where Aberoth is on that scale. That goes to show I have 150 hours in the game. I've never faced Aberoth a single time. So the fact that I was able to progress, get my gear, get all this extra stuff, go through the steps, and now I'm actually eager to looking. I'm eager to facing and beating Aberoth. Goes to show that the in game is really well. Like it's really well done. Like it was very satisfying. And I'm someone who's like really picky about how I spend my time, and I will give Last Epoch a 9 for the in game. It really respects your time, and it respects your time in a way that it doesn't matter if you're a veteran or a casual or you're just a baby with a thumb in your mouth, right? The game still respects your time at all levels. But there is some caveats there that I will mention later. Next, gear chasing. Gear chasing is essential to ARPGs. It's why I play ARPGs. As someone, again, I'm just a single dude living in a lame little country, state, small state, city, whatever. Gear chasing to me is like progressing. Like it's like you get to see, it's like progressing IRL. I go to the gym sometimes, and you go to the gym, you don't really see progress. Like you see progress every like what, 3 to 5 days. Like you only really see progress when you approach a PR, then you rest and you haven't eaten, in my experience. So gear chasing feels like seeing progress all the time. Like you can tell that you're moving a little faster, you're doing a little bit more damage, you're not getting hit as hard, things are kind of dying faster. You feel that. At least I felt that making my character. You know, I haven't slammed any exalts into uniques yet. I plan on doing that tonight or tomorrow. And while I was getting my exalts, my gear together, getting these legendaries together, farming timelines for this specific relic, farmed for a specific shield, fought Lagon like 20 times, all this stuff. While I was getting that together, doing prophecies, I felt stronger. I felt like every I don't know, 45 minutes. I was listening to like random videos. So like every video I felt like I was getting stronger. So like every 45 minutes I felt I was progressing. Really good, super important. Super important. So I give them like gear chasing 9 out of 10. And last, goals. Let's talk about goals. Now, last Epoch is an ARPG, right? Everyone knows that. You know it, I know it. So goals are kind of self-defined. But we could all come to an agreement that clear campaign, go to monoliths, you go to empower monoliths, kill Aberoth, kill Uber Aberoth. So that's like campaign, monoliths, empowered Aberoth. That's 5 goals that can be had and conquered and worked towards, right? And maybe you want to kill Aberoth in a certain amount of time. You want to have a certain amount of gear. Like there's different ways to goals. Those are just goals that I'm going to define, right? So it's easy to kind of get from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. The caveat is because the game is so easy, once you get to empower monoliths, you can start pain dying and you don't really understand why. It felt good to breeze through the campaign because everything's so easy. It felt good to kind of just breeze through the monoliths because the monoliths aren't really challenging. As soon as you step into empower monoliths, everything is suddenly level 100. So depending on your level matters a lot. Enemies get extra penetration up to 75% based on their level or something like that. So immediately things will start hitting harder, and then corruption adds more like damage and they will just start hitting harder. My personal experience, when I got to empower monoliths, I really wasn't dying. Only time I die is when I just get hit by a crit and it's like 4,000. and then the overkill is like another few thousand. I don't even. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if it's bad or good, whatever. I only have like 1.7k health, so I'm still trying to find the perfect belt, some better boots, and I think some better gloves. But yeah, the times I've died in Empower monoliths was like taking 4k plus damage in a single hit. So it's kind of tricky with the goal situation, but I do think it is clearly outlined. Like there's benchmarks players can approach, and it's reasonable to approach them and clear them. I give it a 7. Yeah, 7 feels fair. So that's really how I feel about the game. All right, so the first pro. There are very clear paths to upgrades. Way you can put gear into your Weaver tree and then kind of outline paths to the different parts of the Weaver tree and also get benefits. So smart. It shows that the game respects your time and it allows you to really hone in on what you want. So you combine the Weaver tree with prophecies and then you use the lenses. Really good. Like it feels really good to have that system in place. There's a variety, another pro, there's a variety of system mechanics to engage with. I haven't done it yet, but apparently there's a certain Weaver's map you can run with a turtle, and you can try to 4 LP uniques there, and you can do as much as you want as long as you have them in your stash. And then you can go to a Nemesis tower and kind of empower them up again to try again. I think the way like that mechanic engages with itself, because it's super smart because it keeps you in the monolith, it keeps you playing the game, and then while you're grinding for those, you're also getting the benefits of the Weaver tree. Like I think it's just so good. And the last pro is that there's clear goals. I think it's very apparent that because of how good it feels to level, how good the skills feel, how good in-game feels, like they want you to clear campaign, clear monoliths, get empowered, take on Aberoth. Right? All the tools are there. I feel like anyone can do it with enough time. Suddenly, I just feel like with the tools given, you should be able to eventually build a character that is just strong. And you would have built it with your own 2 hands, and then Aberoth is yours for the taking. Like I just feel like if you can get a few reasonable 2 LP offensive stats that are like best in slot for your build, you should be good. Like you should be doing a lot of damage. Like if a T6 or a T7 medium rolled offensive stat should like 2 of them should get you to where you want to be. And the game sets you up to do that beautifully. So yeah, super excited. Should be facing Aberoth 2 days. I don't know. We'll see. Now, time for some cons. First con, which I think is really important, is the game lacks oof. The spells kind of, it just lacks oof. When the bodies die, they kind of ragdoll and then lay on the ground and they fade into the ground. A lot of the skills don't have like a pop or crackling to them. It was very floaty at times. And I'm not knocking them for that, but that's is there. That combined with the washed out colors too, like the Weavers have a lot of yellow and green and like this olive green too. So you're in this dark tomb, a lot of yellow, a lot of lights, a lot of spider webs, electricity. And I get they do necrotic damage, so they kind of wanted to lean into that yellow greenish tint. I get it, but kind of looks messy at times. Not ugly, but it really just doesn't. It just something about it just. I get tired of looking at it after a while. I'm just like, man, this is just messy. But that's just like because the game is kind of dated and stuff like that. There's a particular part in the campaign with the shield and the fires. So I hope they can do something with the lighting to kind of fix some of the colors. Who knows? But the game does legit look messy at certain points. It's just like stuff everywhere and blah. And last con really is the game feels too easy until it isn't. There were a lot of people complaining about like, oh yeah, campaign was super easy, breeze through monoliths, and now my build feels bricked because every time I step into empowered monoliths, I get one shot. I think that's how I felt last time I played last season. I tried to do like a some type of rogue class. Rogues don't have a lot of defenses. Breeze through the campaign, breeze through, and that was when people were calling Lagan hard. So I breezed through Lagan, breezed through everything. Got to empower monoliths, kept getting one shot. I was like, I had max resist too. I remember I distinctly had max resist, but I just kept getting one shot, and I was like, what the heck do I do? So I think the answer was stack ES or something. I don't know. I don't even know what the answer is today. Or at least for rogue. I don't know. Maybe I was just a bad rogue build, but yeah, that felt bad. And a lot of people probably are still running into that. So if they can fix those three things, this game will be perfect. But overall, what would I rate Last Epoch? Overall, season two, I give it an 8. I think the game is a solid 8. Definitely worth a buy. Definitely having fun with it personally. Definitely can see myself spending at least 20 to 30 more hours in this character. Even if I do beat Aberoth tomorrow, I don't know how close I am. I'm on like the quest line is like 200 corruption, so I don't know how close that is relative to whatever. But I can see myself grinding some more past that until I'm like, okay, I'm done. It's a Totem Druid. I don't know if I said that. Totem Druid feels kind of clunky. I'm using the relic that allows you to kind of summon the totem automatically, the Thunder Totem automatically. But the problem, the clunkiness kind of runs into sometimes it won't proc when I need it to. So I have to untransform. When I untransform from the little tree, whatever, I lose a lot of armor, lose a lot of buffs, and I feel like anything will one shot me. So it it feels really scary to untransform, quickly summon the totem, and then dodge, dash until I can transform again and start playing my build again. But I'm having fun. I think that's all that matters. And yeah, that's how I feel about Last Epoch. So if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate the like. If you want to see more, I'd appreciate the subscribe. New channel. Let's see what happens. And yeah, look forward to the next one. I also have a misc, so that's basically the end of that. If you want to just hear Last Epoch, boom. This part of the video is like a misc section, like something I kind of just had on my mind while I was. The devs have to master the game of cat and mouse because it kind of feel like it's like streamers versus content creators versus ARPG enthusiasts in this like weird, it's like this weird triangle because devs want to make a good product for people to play, have fun. That's kind of the nature of ARPGs. You put a lot of time into it, boom, boom, boom. Everyone's having fun. And then streamers inherently are super obsessed with the game. Their community is obsessed with the game. Everyone's working hard towards solving the game. And you don't like it made me think, is Last Epoch too easy, or has the general floor for like ARPG players just risen because of streamers and content creators? There's like guides to everything. There's guides to everything. All these nuanced conversations, the generalization. Like if you're just in that sphere, you just that sphere. If you're in that sphere of, like say you watch Rax or you watch Woody Joe or you watch Lily or you watch Quinn, you watch whatever. I don't know a lot of Last Epoch people. You watch whatever. You just watch this, you watch that. It doesn't matter, right? If you're in that sphere, you heard some podcasts, you've heard Ben, POE2 guys, and all that. So you picked up on things, and it's like devs have to account for that. Like, how do you combat? Like, I feel like balance is more than what we probably think it is. Like when they sit down, they have to think, okay, guys, how can we keep them from solving the game and making it trivial while still making it challenging? Like that is a really, really low key hard job. Like seriously, and you can't be like, hey, content creator, stop making guides Because I'll be honest, I picked up a lot of good information from watching some of Rax's videos. The intention wasn't to watch it to trivialize my last Epoch experience. I just like watching some of his videos. And then he went over some stuff, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that. And if I hadn't learned that, I probably, it was the, what did I learn? I learned that you can use that glyph on crappy gear to stabilize your timeline so you progress faster. So you don't actually have to, you don't have to go on the map and raise it the normal way. That saved a bunch of time because I had like 40 glyphs because I hadn't used them because I was farming the Lagon. That saved me a bunch of time, basically. So, and I was like, well, the game doesn't exactly explain it that you can do that. So it was nice to get that information from someone I enjoy watching. Anyway, that was just like a thought I was having. Super uncategorized, but there's a conversation to be had there. Anyways, that's the video. Thanks for watching again. Subscribe. There will be more. Like if you like the video, and tell me how you feel about Last Epoch. I kind of care what other people say about things I'm interested in. Like I said, I don't really have anyone else to talk to it about. And if you go on Reddit too much, you kind of end up hating the thing you like because everyone is like so annoying about everything. It's like everything is nitpicked and discussed, and it doesn't even become nuanced. It just becomes noise. That's why I'd rather make a video to talk. Anyways, yeah, that's the video. Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing, and make an update video when I beat Aberoth, and we'll go from there. Take care. Peace.